Bonehead of the week.
Welcome to this edition of Bonehead of the Week, where you vote, you decide who is the Bonehead of the Week. Me and my co-host, Gabe Sanchez, break down the Bonehead of the Week every single Friday in the second hour of the Tony Michaels podcast, and also replaying every single Friday on the MeidasTouch network. So don't forget to watch our show every single weekday, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific, on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and also watch the replay of Bonehead of the Week on the MeidasTouch network. So subscribe if you're on the MeidasTouch network, hit that button. It's really easy, but also subscribe to our show, the Tony Michaels podcast on YouTube. You're not going to want to miss a thing. Also, to vote, Gabe, you got to subscribe to our podcast. That's where you find the poll. Also, go to Twitter at Tony Michaels Pod. That's where you will find the Bonehead of the Week poll every single week. We do not rig elections.
We do not.
Free and fair here at the Tony Michaels podcast.
And they're safe.
They're safe. Safe elections. Safe elections. You can also download Bonehead of the Week and our show every single weekday on Apple, Spotify, Google. Don't forget to leave us a great review while you're there subscribing on your favorite directory. Also, if you're out there, Gabe, this thing has been going like hotcakes. We sold several of these already this morning.
Ooh.
The freedom to oppress the rights of other people is not liberty.
Hoodies, the zip-ups.
That's a zip-ups, and we got pullover hoodies. We also have T-shirts. There's coffee mugs.
Oh, my God.
Like hotcakes, they're going over there.
People like liberty.
They do like liberty. For some reason, people like democracy and liberty. It is a funny thing. So go to store.theTonyMichaels.com to check out the Liberty design. Store.theTonyMichaels.com. Guess what, Gabe? You can use the promo code podcast right now to get 10% off your entire order. Just use the promo code podcast. That's a secret here. And get 10% off. So you're hearing it right here. So subscribe to the Tony Michaels podcast. Go to store.theTonyMichaels.com. Use that promo code podcast for 10% off your entire order. We got some real boneheads this week.
Oh, yeah.
And some obvious ones, really. I mean, it's not hard to see that these three white dudes are the boneheads of the
Let's
week.
be specific here. These are not just three white boneheads, right? These three white males. These are subpar, lower than mediocre white dudes that were in the running. When I made this graphic today, I was like, "Oh, look at these three white dudes, so fucking below average."
And of course, I believe, is this Ron Johnson's first time on
This
the
is. I had to. Yeah, I made this graphic this morning. I cut out his face. You know, I found what I believe was a good photo, and when I say good, I mean not good photo. I always try to find
the exact picture Ron Johnson deserves, by the way.
Yeah,
100%.
It's the it's always the photo where I'm like, do they look sad, angry, confused, dumb, like all of the basic emotions that I feel like they probably send out most of the time.
Right. Well, they got their feelings hurt. They are oppressed white men, you know.
Right.
Self-proclaimed oppressed white men. So why are these fucking boneheads on this poll? Anyways, let's start with Jim Jordan. Because Jim, I don't report sex crimes. Jordan is always at the top of the bonehead list. He's been, has he won bonehead before? I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, like he
tweeted something yesterday about real America again. He thinks he knows
real America. Can't afford gas, groceries, or rent. When will the January 6th committee address those issues? Well, dumb fuck, the January 6th committee is about, I know this is going to be really hard to understand, but it's about the January 6th fucking riots.
Right, he even was checking on pardons to see if people were going to get pardoned.
He was like, "Hey, can I get a quick update on pardons?" And you're like, "Wait, why would you need a quick update? What the fuck are you doing?"
He may want to grab a pardon blanket. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
he may. Jim Jordan may need one. Here's the tweet here that he sent out yesterday. It was in the.
He really. So I thought you were talking about a different one because I have another point I want to bring up as well to what he other tweeted. But he has a tendency to talk about real America, which we've also talked about, which is like, what is
he
real
tweets
America
this. He tweets this a lot.
Fake America.
Oh, you were thinking of the one because he did this several times yesterday. But you're
Yeah.
talking about the one that originally set it off, which was the January 6th one that you mentioned before.
Right. So he had one yesterday that was about talking about real America can't afford gas, groceries, or rent. But then, you know, because the internet will fact check you in real time, they said, hey, Jim Jordan, how about you shut the fuck up about this gas shit? Because at the end of the day, you are the one who voted against the oil and gas price gouging bill that was proposed. You were one of the 207 people, 203 Republicans of the 207 that voted no. So when he comes in and says, when will we talk about the real America in these issues? No one like Jim Jordan can talk, which means most Republicans, because they will complain about something and then not actually vote in favor of the thing that helps relieve the stress or issue that they're complaining about. And this is just one example. So, you know, of course, because yesterday was all January 6th, he figured he could get on the trends for January 6th.
And he tweeted this during the hearing.
Right,
exactly. He tweeted this during the hearing. So he was watching it, obviously.
So it's just another example of Jim Jordan and the Republican Party complaining about some issue, not proposing actual solutions. And when, you know, solutions are put forward by the Democratic Party to say, hey, why don't we try to control the way in which gas prices are dictated so we don't have this price gouging that happens, you know, whether there's stress on the system, we can, you know, find ways not to pass the buck on to the consumer. The Republicans go, yeah, that was a good one. You almost had us on that one.
Right.
But consumers can go fuck themselves.
Right. Well, I mean, the only party that has done anything for real America to afford gas, groceries, or rent is the pro-democracy party. That's the only one. Because they are the anti-party of everything. The Republicans. Anti everything. So Jim Jordan can really, really go fuck off.
But
because as I call him,
what was your tweet that you were showing?
The other one?
Yeah, the other one.
Here it is. Is this real? If it is, now here's the thing. Even if this is fake,
no, I don't. This is fake. This is fake.
This is fake. But can you believe that it is real?
You know, at first glance, I was like, "Yep, that is totally."
He would definitely say that
in something he would say. But no, this is not a real thing.
That just shows you how shitty.
It's like
Jim Jordan
is. It's like the way in which I do the press releases for Trump, which I haven't done one in a while. But you know,
well, yeah, because we almost can't do those anymore. Yeah. And the reason why is because he has gotten so fucking crazy and so steeped in QAnon. Like people even question the real ones now. They're like, no,
I mean, he had one yesterday. How many documents was the one yesterday that he released? Like 14?
Oh, I don't know.
Pages?
Well, the thing that was the craziest to me was the fucking QAnon video. He posted a QAnon video. And inside the video, there's this part with Rachel Maddow where they clip this up and I'm not going to show it because it is a QAnon video. Now, I posted it on our YouTube channel. If you want to, now I put a disclaimer that it is a QAnon clip. Like I didn't just post the video. I posted, said it's a QAnon clip. It is a conspiracy video. But if you want to go see it, just go to Tony Michaels podcast on YouTube. Just search Tony Michaels podcast. It's there. It's the one where the subpoena clip. But he posted a conspiracy theory video, and it clips up Rachel Maddow to make Rachel Maddow sound like she's in support of Trump. It's really fucking weird. It's really weird. Man, come on. Really? Honestly?
I know. Yeah.
But let's get back to the Boneheads because I got some more clips of the Boneheads here. Ron Johnson.
Ron Johnson.
Putin's
this guy
puppet.
who only said... guys, look, I only cooed for like a few minutes on January 6th, so like that shouldn't really count against me. I was, I just got swept up, and I tried to pass off these fake electors to get Pence to sign off on them, but it was I only carried those documents for like a mere 3 minutes.
Hey, guys, I cooed.
It's longer than I last in bed. You know,
seconds.
That's exactly the argument that Ron Johnson is saying. He's like, look, guys, it was 3 minutes. That's way longer than I do in bed. Okay, that's like an eternity.
Well, the guy with the last name Johnson trying to have big dick energy, you would expect it from him. Here he is at the debate. This is why I wanted him on the Bonehead of the list, our Bonehead of the Week list, was because of the debate he had with Mandela Barnes.
He was a late entry last night.
Let me tell you something. He had some zingers. I mean, he had the audience slapping their knees. Now, they weren't laughing at him or with him. They were laughing at him.
Yeah.
They were laughing at him because he said some crazy-ass stupid shit. Like this one here. Something about the FBI setup, and it sounds more like planted documents and mind control declassified type shit. Like it is like Biden JFK Jr. 2024 type stuff here. Here's the conspiracy theory that he's trying to sell, and the audience does not buy it.
In response to the wild charge of Lieutenant Governor Barnes, the FBI set me up with a corrupt briefing and then leaked that to smear me. I am. No, I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
This is embarrassing. This is really embarrassing for Ron Johnson.
I love how whoever was controlling the sound, they're like, boop, boop. Nope, cutting them off. We're done. We're done. We're done. As soon as you brought in the FBI and you were being framed for something, it was like, nope, that wasn't even the question. Because obviously there isn't, I think you're going to play the other clip that they asked them both, they asked them a question, and Ron Johnson takes an opportunity to go his own path with it.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of times in these debates, because they say a lot of mean shit, right?
Yeah.
Because we know by the former guy posting on Fraud Social that people are mean. People are just mean.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay if they're mean.
Yeah.
It's okay if they make fake nicknames and are racist and are bigoted.
Sure.
But if they get it returned on them, that's fair.
People
that's
being
nice.
mean. They're really not people. They're not humans. They're vile.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's what their logic is. But during these debates, you say a lot of stuff, right? A lot of accusations get thrown around. So traditionally at one of these debates, what the moderators do at the very end is say, hey, you said a lot of nasty shit about your opponent. How about you say one nice thing? Just one. One nice thing.
Politics, it's dirty. It can be ugly. People get their names smeared and dragged through the mud. Maybe let's try something a little different here. We end this thing or try to bring it to a close with a nice thing to say, a nice thought. Like let's just be decent humans. You don't like each other's politics.
Gabe, decency has seemed like a low bar in the past, but with the Republican Party of today, it is a high bar to reach for. And here's a prime example of it.
All right, we are down to one final question here, and both of you have said a lot tonight about each other. Now, when we traveled around the state talking with voters, we heard repeatedly from people tired of divisive politics and attack ads. So our final question here tonight is, both of you have been successful in life. You have 30 seconds here. Mr. Barnes, you go first. What do you find admirable about your opponent?
Okay, so there's the question. What do you find admirable? And the reason why they want to ask this question, as you heard, they travel around the state, and the one thing that the voters, the people who are going to vote for one of these two people, keep that in mind. Ron Johnson heard those words that the voters said, I'm tired of the divisive politics and the name calling and the mean talk. Mandela Barnes here takes the high road. He has class, just as most liberal Democrats.
It's also a very straightforward question. There is no like gotcha moment. There's no politics of it. There's no, I mean, there is obviously a wrong answer. The right answer is just to say, hey, this person, like you could even say, you know what I like about this person? They love baseball and I love baseball too. Right. Literally.
They got a nice smile, even if they don't, even if it's a lie, even if this is a lie, you have enough class to at least be like, you know, he shook my hand a little bit ago when we came on stage, and I guess that's admirable. Like even that, just the low bar of decency here. Now, Barnes goes beyond the bar of decency, obviously. The low bar of decency.
Very, very, very low.
Right. And he actually has some class. Listen to what Lieutenant Governor, who is running for Senate, Mandela Barnes says.
Well, no, seriously. I do think, the senator is proven to be a family man, and I think that's admirable. That's absolutely to be respected. He speaks about his family. He's done a lot to provide for them. I absolutely respect that.
Okay, pretty good. It
Yeah.
seems like he even went far enough to, kind of look into Ron Johnson's past to see that if he was a family guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that you would just say that out loud if you didn't just at least do a little bit that, you can say that out loud.
Look, it's I think,
almost like Barnes knew this question was coming almost.
right.
I mean,
Susie Bird brings up a good thing here. It's always a safe bet. A family man, there's nothing wrong with that, especially since family is such a big thing for anyone running in politics, but specifically someone who's a conservative. They love their family. They love spreading their fucking offspring.
Right.
They love that. Easy answer, easy compliment. That's it. You can't go wrong with that.
Well, maybe. Don't. Okay, this is Bonehead of the Week, Gabe. This is Bonehead of the Week. The family man thing, the family thing can go wrong very quickly.
All right.
Here's an example of that.
Mr. Johnson.
I mean, likewise, I appreciate the fact that Lieutenant Governor Barnes had loving parents, a school teacher, father worked third shift, so he had good upbringing.
There you go. See, the family man thing. See, if I stop the clip there, you'd believe, oh my gosh. Well,
this is one of those moments where you would stop it and fake Gabe would say, play the full clip. Play the full clip.
Play the full clip.
Okay.
But for anyone who doesn't know, fake Gabe is on Facebook and
he
likes to troll in the chat and he likes to spread lies around.
I haven't seen fake here. I'm going to be honest.
I don't think
unless I haven't read the chat. I don't think fake Gabe has come back.
I think Texas
Paul just fucking annihilated
Paul
him.
Laid into him. I mean, ripped him to shreds.
And if anyone hasn't seen that clip that we have it. I think we have it on YouTube, right?
Yes, we do. Go to our YouTube channel if you're not there already. Subscribe.
Texas Paul goes nuclear.
Yeah,
he went nuclear on Tuesday in a good way, and it was pretty amazing.
The cussing pond. It was almost like we were right there virtually at the cussing pond. But back to Ron Johnson here. So if we stop the clip there, you would believe that, hey, wow, this is excellent. They said great things about each other, but it does not end there. It doesn't. Ron Johnson doesn't stop there. And you said the family man thing was a safe bet. Well, here is how you can really fuck that up. Listen.
I guess what puzzles me about that is with that upbringing, why is he turned against America? I mean, why is he finding America?
Oh, he was this close.
Somehow.
We did not.
I said we said something admirable.
All right, we are down.
So Ron Johnson does not know the definition of admirable. This is what a fucking bonehead.
This close. He was this close. He had it. He could have been like, boom. His
almost
parent worked the third shift. Done. Admirable.
He put all of it in there, even teacher, third shift.
Yeah.
He had it all in there.
And he goes, but with that being said, and you're like, oh God, no.
He even said upbringing. He was like upbringing, which like has religious kind of connotations and morality built into that kind of phrasing. He fucked it up.
He could have
fucking bonehead.
Easily walked away. And that being the last question could have been like, oh, okay, well, Ron Johnson didn't end it on a shitty note. And Ron Johnson was like, yeah, hold my beer, guys.
Right.
Let me just set the
How can I
straight.
ruin this debate even more for myself? I'll go ahead and just torch the whole thing. And of course, the audience is just like, oh God, like Jesus, dude, you are gross. Like even the audience is grossed out. Like they were laughing at him. There's a couple other clips we can play this debate.
Even the moderators are like, we said admirable.
Right. Do you know do we need to get a dictionary? We can dust one off for you if you would like to retry.
You tell me the origin of the word admirable? It's like a spelling bee, like admirable. Okay.
Can you use it in a sentence, please? Can you use it in a sentence? Oh my God. Speaking of family men who like to spread their family around all over the earth, we have a dishonorable mention today. Elon Musk. Why did old Elon end up on our dishonorable mention?
Well, we found out Elon is now under investigation for his little Twitter deal.
Uh-oh. We've been saying from the very beginning, very it's been a big controversy over me from the day he announced that he was going to buy Twitter, that he was never going to own Twitter. And I'm still saying it. Elon Musk will never own Twitter. He will never own Twitter. It's not going to happen. It won't happen. This is proof right here. October 14th, Friday, 1:37 p.m. Eastern. Elon Musk will not own Twitter ever. It's not going to happen. And here is a prime example why. Because he's now under federal investigation, I believe, right?
Yeah.
What is the actual aim of this investigation, and what are they looking
into? This one is in regards to the Twitter acquisition. Mm-hmm. So this is basically he's being.
I just want to put a picture up of Elon Musk for reference here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep, there we go. That's him.
Yes.
Basically, he's being investigated because he pretty much fucked up. It's federal investigation for the Twitter deal. Twitter says in a court filing, Elon Musk is being investigated by federal authorities over his conduct in the $44 billion takeover deal for Twitter Inc., the social media company said in a court filing released on Thursday. While the filing said he was under investigations, it did not say the exact focus of the probes were and how in which the federal authorities were conducting them. So just to catch everyone up, what happened was Elon Musk made a joke on Twitter. He said, "Oh, should I own Twitter?" Right? Being the person who wants to fight for the First Amendment and all that bullshit that the right claims to have but loves to suppress on others. So he puts out a poll. Overwhelmingly, people say, yeah, buy Twitter, buy Twitter, buy Twitter. Now, what I believe originally started as a joke required him to double down on a joke so he didn't look weak and not an alpha.
Well, not the cuck he really is.
Right. And so what happens is he has to double down. He offers 54.20 because it's a 420 joke, which adds up to $45 billion.
That's so funny.
Then what happens is Twitter says, all right, bet. We'll take the $44 billion because why wouldn't we? That's well above market price. We have an obligations, a due diligence, a fiduciary responsibility to serve our shareholders that we make them money. So we
by the way, if you back out, we're going to charge you almost at this point. It's about $16 billion, right?
Right. The original deal that said in there was like anyone who backs out, Twitter backs out, or if Elon backs out, there's a $1 billion clause that says you owe this money to the other party for backing out. Now, there's another thing that's a performance clause in there. And that basically says, like, you agree to the company and, like, if anything's done, you can't maliciously talk about them, this and that. Don't do that, which he ended up doing. He was attacking executives. He was shit-talking the company about the bots and all this random stuff to try to get out of the deal. Now, this performance clause basically shows you, it says, hey, based on when you agree to the price, and if things happen and the price of that company, let's say, goes down in value, then you are also responsible for the delta of that. So the delta of the difference was about 16 billion, which means he would owe an additional 16 billion. So basically it was either a billion, 44 billion, or 16 to 17 billion in the grand scheme of either acquiring.
Sounds like a pretty good deal for Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter's look, we get anywhere from 1 billion to 44 billion at the end of the quarter or the end of the deal when this closes.
Right. I think really, honestly, at the end of the day, even if they have to settle this out of court, they're still going to get at least $1 billion. So what's the downfall?
There's no downside.
No downfall. And so no downside for Elon Musk pretending to own Twitter for Twitter because Twitter gets to get his money at the end of the day.
And so then what happens is Elon tries to get out of the deal by complaining about bots. Twitter says, fine, we'll give you an unfiltered data, essentially a fire hose of data. They just streaming in a bunch of data to him. They're going through it. And he's like, oh, these bots and not on. He's complaining about these issues to get out of the deal, right? He's trying to blame Twitter and say, well, they lied to me and they didn't give me the full information and they didn't reveal this and that. So then Twitter was like, okay, dude, you signed the contract. We gave you everything. We helped you every step along the way. And we're just going to sue you now. So now in all of these court documents, they revealed also in these text messages that Elon was 100. He knew what was going on. He was completely serious in the conversations he was having with Jack Dorsey and other executives. These text messages have been revealed publicly because they're dealing with it in court right now. And it's just evidence that's on display. And now he's getting investigated, it looks like, by federal authorities because he's trying to fuck around with the company, and the company lost money in its value, and now he doesn't want to pay. So if you're doing that, again, there are consequences for your actions. It's just like, yeah, you can say dumb shit. You can say the dumbest, racist, bigoted stuff online. But guess what? There are going to be consequences for the things you say. It's just like you were talking about earlier with Alex Jones. You can say the dumbest, craziest, most vile things, especially about victims and the parents of those victims from Sandy Hook. However, there's going to be consequences, which would be him owing nearly $1 billion in damages, and then him doubling down and saying even more disgusting stuff. So when people like that and Elon Musk say, oh, well, First Amendment, it's sure, yeah, go ahead. But there are going to be consequences when you fuck around. You're going to find out. You are now in the found out stage. You're being investigated. And Elon Musk, and it's not only that too. We also then earlier this week, we found out from a Vice article that Elon Musk was in conversations with Putin. Like, this is crazy, you know? And when you have Elon Musk who's like, I'm going to set up these Starlink satellites for Ukraine.
What is Starlink? For anyone who doesn't know, Elon Musk went to Ukraine to set up Starlink.
Right. So Starlink are the satellite service in terms to connect. He's got a bunch of satellites that basically connect, you know, for internet coverage in different areas, right? And so he says, I'm going to put these satellites over this area of Ukraine, and I'm going to allow people to get in contact, to call, to what have you.
This basically gives them access to the internet where Russians can't really destroy this access to the internet.
And so because it's this broadband internet connection, it's also low latency. So it's a decently fast connection in a relatively inexpensive way.
It's technology that he didn't invent, but he takes credit for because someone who works for him invented it.
Exactly. So he
typical
offered
Elon Musk type shit.
Right. So Elon Musk comes in as the savior to say, hey, guys, I'm giving you these Starlink satellites. I'm going to put them over this region to make sure that you guys are able to actually connect to the internet. Then fast forward to just last week or last weekend, whenever the bridge to Crimea was blown up.
It pissed Putin off big time.
Putin was like, and he had a conversation with Elon. Then Elon decided to tweet a map and how to resolve the issue between Ukraine. The resolution is Russia doesn't invade Ukraine. It's as simple as that. You know, Putin should not try to commit genocide.
Right. There's no both sides to this.
It's literally
there's no both sides to
don't do the
going
into
a sovereign nation and committing war crimes, killing innocent women. There's no both sides of that.
Don't commit the war crimes. Don't try to commit genocide or commit genocide, and you won't have this issue. But as soon as this bridge is blown up, Putin is angry. Turns out there's a conversation that Putin has with Musk, and now Elon Musk is shutting down access to Starlink. A little bit suspicious, very odd. Definitely
you mean this is after he had a conversation with Vladimir Putin on how to resolve, because this internet connection is really crucial right now with the communications of the Ukrainian army and the Ukrainian rebels that are trying to fight with the Ukrainians to fend off Russians. And here's Dan is reporting here 4 hours ago, a senior U.S. official expressed exasperation to me about the Starlink situation in Ukraine involving Elon Musk. Musk, this is a quote, dangles hope over the heads of millions. This is what they're saying about Musk, I think. Dangles hope over the heads of millions, then sticks the DOD with the bill for a system no one asked for, but now so many depend on. So what happened was he said, I'll provide it for free. I think he even tweeted it, which is kind of a pattern here, that he does something and then doesn't follow through.
That's like when he's like, hey, how do I help fight world hunger? And people said, or what should I do? And people said, help fight world hunger. And so he's like, all right, fine. What'll it take? A few billion, 4 to 5 billion. Okay, cool. And then the next thing, he just completely pivoted away from that and was like, I'm going to buy Twitter.
Right.
And we've seen how that goes.
Well, again, he tweets stuff out. He doesn't follow through. And that's what he's doing with Starlink. So he tweeted out, I'm going to give them the internet for free, basically. This is the greatest technology ever that I'm taking credit for inventing, that I didn't actually invent. Someone who works for me actually invented it because I'm an idiot. And the only people that are smart enough to invent this stuff actually work for me. It's not actually me. But he basically what he did is he installed this in Ukraine. They're relying on it now. Now what he wants to do is to charge the American DOD, the Department of Defense, to have this Starlink system in Ukraine. The richest man on earth. Yep. He's the richest man. And he's going to help Ukraine. Give me a fucking break. This guy is a joke. He's a liar. He's a thief. He's probably a tax cheat. He's probably committed fraud a dozen times just in the little subsection of buying Twitter. This guy is never going to own Twitter. And eventually you will see Elon Musk in the find out phase of the fuck around saga.
Yep.
You will find him there. It's going to happen. So I'd love to talk about Elon for the remainder, but we got to get to our bonehead.
Of course.
Because we've got tons of clips to show of people wanting to punch him. I have a clip of...
It's not an exaggeration. It's literally what Donald Trump drives people to do. They push people to their fucking limits, and they'll say things like, if he comes here, I'm going to punch him.
I'm going to punch him out. Well, he does have a very... I mean, come on. Most Nazis...
It's almost like he has a target on his face. Like, just right in the fucking mouth.
So Donald Trump was a big part of the hearing yesterday. Matter of fact, it's almost like every hearing has been about him. I think you tweeted about this.
Yeah. I
showed this earlier on the show.
Because it's true. Like, at the end of the day, Trump wants to complain on Truth Social how, they waited till the very last moment to invite him to the Jan 6 committee hearing, the unselect committee hearing. They waited till the very last moment to ask for his testimony. Dude, it's been the fucking Donald Trump hour this whole time. Like I said.
Right, it's Treason Hunters season 2.
Oh, as I said, my guy, the whole show has been about you. The invitation was implied. It's built in. When the whole thing is surrounded about you.
The one time they invited him to walk to the Capitol, they're like, no, you can't. We won't punch you. We promise if you just come in.
If you just show up.
Right, just show up now.
But here's the thing. Now he released a 14 pages of document of these pages of like how this whole thing is a sham and the election is a fake and it's a fraud and it's void and this and that and he's the true president. All this fucking bullshit. 14 pages he had a fucking rant from the desk of Donald Trump. Like that's some sort of like any truthful valid mark. But this guy is so deranged, so unhinged, so fucking insane that he thinks that he should still be the president. He thinks he was cheated, even though the former Attorney General Bill Barr said it's bullshit. You have people that literally told him he lost. And we learned yesterday that he did acknowledge the fact that he lost. Specifically, one of the key points of evidence was the fact that he he pushed to have an immediate release for the withdrawal from Somalia and Afghanistan. And when they said, well, we can't do that, or we don't think that's wise, he goes, no, not my problem. It's for the next guy to solve, which is Biden. So he already had acknowledged through the motions that he put forward that he was done. He lost. He already knew he was a fucking loser, and he said it out loud. But he wasn't willing to say it out loud to the rest of his people that he instigated to storm the Capitol.
Here is Jamie Raskin letting loose on the information that was laid before the American people yesterday. Went on MSNBC and let loose. Let's listen.
Means a lot to the members of the committee and to our staff. But I would say this. What kind of snowflake is Donald Trump that he's willing to send hundreds and hundreds of other people to go and do his battle and to attack police officers with Trump flags and Confederate battle flags and turn American flags into weapons. And he's very happy to do that. And he won't even come and explain himself why he thought he had a right to do that or why he thought that was the right thing to do. What is he afraid of?
So there he is. cucked by Jamie Raskin, because it's the truth. He's a punk ass bitch. He'll never do it.
Yeah.
And really, our alpha cuck plays an important role in this idea of the violence. So the alpha cuck of the week is Roger Stone. And that is another piece of evidence that we watched against Donald Trump and this idea that he was going to overturn the election. Because we know now. Actually, there's a video that MJ sent me that I want to play first.
Yeah, there's a new video.
Yeah, there's a new video this morning of Roger Stone, our alpha cuck, who cucks for Donald Trump. But here's Roger Stone. It's really short. Listen to what he says at the end, and we'll talk about who it is that he's talking about.
Jared Kushner has an IQ of 70. He's coming to Miami. We will eject him from Miami very quickly. He'll be leaving very quickly. He has 100 security guards. I'll have 5,000 security guards. You want to fight? Let's fight. Fuck you. Fuck you and your abortionist bitch daughter.
Wait. Does Jared Kushner have a dot? It took me a couple times to realize who he's talking about here. He's talking about Donald Trump.
Yep.
He's talking about Donald Trump, and he's using Jared Kushner as this because they're going to appear in Miami. Yeah. Jared Kushner, and he says your daughter. He means Trump, and he's talking about Ivanka Trump. Holy, but this guy is off the chain.
This guy is an unhinged, gargling fascist. He couldn't even get the words. He's like, "Oh God, fuck you."
Don't insult fascist, okay? I mean, I'm dead serious. This is some. He is a fucking lunatic,
dude.
And I think because we've seen some of this footage from this documentary, right? And we know that Roger Stone, our alpha cuck today, was in communication the entire time with Donald Trump. There's no doubt in my mind that these two were on the phone just as Donald Trump was now yelling and screaming at each other over the phone. And we've seen footage of him talking about a lot of wild shit. Even the Steve Bannon where he's talking to his Chinese accomplices where this is before the election. They're saying, look, it doesn't matter what happens. He's just going to declare that he's the fucking winner. And that's just how it's going to be. And that's what's going to happen. Now, yesterday, though, there's another piece of footage where he's saying that possession is 9/10 of the law.
Right.
And that and this was on November 1st, but the day after is the new clip that we got. Now, he's walking what appears to be an airport here. That's what I believe that this is. It's a terminal somewhere. And he's got a mask on, and that's why I think it's an airport, because he has to have a face mask on at the time, and it says Trump. But listen to what he says about voting and votes. This is how much Roger Stone believes in democracy. Listen.
I said, fuck the voting, let's get right to the violence. That's what I'm.
I say, fuck the voting, let's get right to the violence. This is November 2nd, 2020. Okay? This is November 2nd, 2020. They already knew before the election even happened that A, Donald Trump was going to win, B, that there was going to be violence, and C, they were going to have to use it to keep him president. They knew that.
Yeah.
They knew it the entire time. That's why Roger Stone is, why are we going to even vote? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Let's just get straight to the coup part. Let's get straight to the violent coup.
Because we also saw in the other clips, he get, no, possession is 9/10 of law. Fuck you, I won. And that's how he said that, that Trump should go forward with it. Should just declare. He's like, it'll probably be pretty close, you know. Obviously, he's seen this as a potential issue and says the only way to move forward is to declare that you won. If you get enough people to say you won, then it casts doubt in the election and the system that we have participated in as a free and safe and fair election. And by doing so, then you cause them to say, well, maybe we have to do a redo or this or that, you know, and then we saw they did a TikTok of Trump being told through different interviews, nope, you lost. It's over.
Right. By not just the Department of Justice. He was told by several different people that, look, you've lost. It's done. Now we have witnessed this picture. This is a famous picture in history where Nancy Pelosi looks. I mean, this makes it look like she wants to punch him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
really everyone in the room, it feels like the energy in the room is that she is going to come over the table and punch him.
She's like, I will fucking come over this table and drag you out on the steps myself. Like, that's the type of... Here's the thing. Nancy Pelosi has, like, what, 5 kids, right? She's a mother.
Right.
She doesn't deal with this bullshit, man. She's fucking no. She's like, look, I'm not going to deal with you, adult, you petulant child. You're a man baby sitting in an Oval Office who got in here, even though you lost the popular vote. At the end of the day, you're just a whiny little bitch, and I'm going to call you that. So when you try to overthrow the government, like we saw in the video on January 6th, she's like, I want to punch him out. If he comes here, I'm going to fucking punch him out.
Well, here's the video. Now, this is a piece of footage that we have not seen yet. We did not see the footage of Nancy Pelosi and others in the full extent of them asking for the DOD, the Maryland, Virginia National Guard, any security force that they could get to try to fend off the Shark Army here that Grandpa Poopy Pants engaged at his little Nazi rally before the counting of the Electoral College. Now, and the certification. Now, again, this is very rare that a camera would capture this. And it's very rare that we would even get to see this kind of footage. But because of what the Grandpa Poopy Pants and the Shark Army did or tried to do to our Constitution and our democracy is the reason why we're seeing it. And this is just a little snippet of a 7-minute video that they played, but this is the thing that everyone's talking about on the internet today. And this is where I say we got to be intolerant of intolerance, and really punching Nazis shouldn't be a controversial thing. Let's listen.
And that's what this is all about.
Secret Service said they have dissuaded him from coming to Capitol Hill. They told him they don't have the resources to protect him here. So at the moment he is not coming, but that could change.
Okay, so this is what they're talking about. We all know the story now of him trying to get into the SUV and go to the Capitol, and they wouldn't take him, so he got in a scuffle, and then when he got back to the White House, he was a little bitch that he is. He was throwing his ketchup and his hamburger against the wall, and he got upset. But yesterday, it was revealed that he was still trying to go. He's still trying to get the Secret Service to take him to the Capitol so he could crown him. I'm not really sure I don't know what the purpose is. There's no constitutional mechanism that allows him to take the gavel. I don't know what he was.
Maybe he felt like if he showed up, they would like do this like coup crowd surfing where they would just hail him up to the top, and then he would be like,
"That's a lot of weight."
I'm the president. It's me. You get Donald, Big Donald.
Right.
Like I feel like that's he probably wanted them to carry him up the steps. His fat
It could
ass.
be. It could be. But I can't figure out why he'd want to go. But he did. He kept trying to go that day to the insurrection, to the coup attempt, so that he could be crowned king. I guess right there live on TV. I'm not sure. This guy, who knows what this lunatic wanted. But listen to Nancy Pelosi's response when she finds out that the motherfucker was told not to come up there, but he's still trying to convince Secret Service to come to the Capitol. Listen to what she says.
I would come, I'm going to punch him out. This is my mom. I would pay to see that. I'm waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to be happy.
She acknowledges like, I'm going to punch him out. Yeah, I'm going to go to jail, but it's all fucking worth it because this guy's a petulant child who will not give up and will complain and complain and complain that he won the election and it was rigged and it was stolen and the fucking the Smartmatic and the Dominion voting machines and all this dumb fucking Q conspiracy bullshit. And she here, right in the real moment, she sees the recording. She goes, I want to punch him out. Yeah, I'm okay going to jail. I want to fucking punch him out. Like,
yeah, in the moment, because she's just saying this. She forgot the cameras there, honestly.
Yeah.
And then she remembers and she turns to the camera and says, by the way, I know that I'll go to jail.
Yeah, I get it.
But I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I will be happy to go to jail if he comes up here to punch him out. This is the famous moment this morning. And really, honestly, it just shows the difference in the leadership. And if you have a chance, please go watch the 7-minute video, the footage from the 7-minute video. It's super important to see it. But one reason why it is more important than just what happened in the moment, it's about what Republicans are saying now about the insurrection. Because I said this morning, Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise's leadership of the minority in the House should resign today because they are currently trying to cause an insurrection. They are currently insurrecting right now. We should get the 14th Amendment out on their ass, dust it off, and use it on them because they're currently doing it. I want to show you a clip here. The comparison of what Steve Scalise is saying now versus where he was at in the 7-minute clip. It's very important. Watch.
Was Speaker Pelosi involved in the decision to delay National Guard assistance on January 6th? Those are serious and real questions that this committee refuses to even ask.
So he asked, and they delivered. But here's Steve Scalise's take on it.
Thank you, Jim. And Jim Banks just raised some very serious questions that should be answered by the January 6th Commission, but they're not.
They were answered yesterday, Steve. What say you? But let's watch where he was at during this entire thing and whose side he was by.
And they're not for a very specific reason, and that's because Nancy Pelosi doesn't want those questions to be answered. In fact,
she literally brought the vote to the floor to create the select committee to investigate it. She knew she was going to have to hand over this video footage where it talks about where she says out loud, if he comes here, I'm going to punch him out. They subpoenaed that footage. Okay, they got that. Well, they probably didn't have to subpoena.
She was like, "Hey, look, when you set up this committee, I got something you're gonna love."
Right?
Because here, at the end of the day, like we saw that clip where she's literally on the phone, unfazed. It's like, "I need to call the mayor. I need to call the governor. I need more troops. I need more armed forces. I need to bring these people in." You heard Chuck Schumer, with his New York sass. He comes in, he's talking. He's like, "Look, we need these people. We need them now." Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are like, "Look, we don't care about the stuff in our office. It was ransacked. It's destroyed. We don't care about that. We care about the public safety and the harm unto others, specifically those of that are working there as Capitol Police. These people are getting beaten by huge metal flag rolling billboard kind of contraptions. They're getting pushed. They're getting maced with bear spray. They're getting threatened with guns. These people are not just doing a tourist visit at the Capitol. These people are trying to literally kill others who stand in their way. Back the blue? Fuck that bullshit. They don't actually back the blue. And so when you've got Nancy Pelosi, again, I said it earlier in the show, she was more of a president than Donald Trump on January 6th. She was doing the job that Kevin McCarthy wouldn't do, that Mike Pence wouldn't do, that Donald Trump definitely would not do. She was the one who literally had the balls in the situation to say, we got to call these people. We got to figure out this plan. We need to make sure we clear these people out, and we have to get this vote down to the floor. Because if we don't, then this thing is going to continue to be a shit show. And yeah, if he wants to come down here, I'll punch him out. I'll punch him out right now. I'll go to jail. I don't fucking care. Nancy Pelosi didn't care. She was like, I need to do my job, and we need to make sure that we follow through with our job as representatives of the United States.
Well, you're going to see the evidence here after Steve Scalise lies to the American people in real time. We're going to see.
She took the unprecedented step of kicking Jim Banks and Jim Jordan off of the January 6th committee because they were going to ask those questions that a lot of people would like the answers to.
This cannot be just we're waiting for so-and-so. We need them there now, whoever you got.
Okay, so this is footage that they showed yesterday, and it says on the caption here, Republican leaders Mitch McConnell, Steve Scalise, and John Thune joined Democratic leaders to call DOD. Now, you don't see him in the footage here, but wait for it. I'll show you.
You also have troops. This is Steny Hoyer. Troops,
Okay, so we have a little bit of time to make that decision.
Andrews Air Force Base.
All right.
Okay, this lady here moves out of the way for someone. Did you notice that, Gabe? Kind of made room for someone to get closer to the phone to hear the conversations going on. Let's see who it is.
Military bases.
Thank you.
We need active duty National Guard.
How soon in the future can you?
You see this guy over here in the mask and the red tie? I know it's hard to figure out who that is, but that there is Steve Scalise. God, what a piece of fucking trash. He knows what he's saying is a lie. He's doing it intentionally, and he's doing it intentionally to undermine our democracy. He is trying to commit an insurrection, another coup. It is active. Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise are acting with our bonehead of the week to commit another coup on our government, our elections, and our democracy, and they must resign immediately. I am calling for Steve Scalise and Kevin McCarthy to resign. Those lying sacks of shit. And of course, there's a whole other list of Republicans that could resign. I mean, Jesus, Jim Jordan, Ron Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on here. But we do not have time to go through the entirety of that list. So let's do this. Let's give the bonehead of the week his due, because he got out front and boy, he just took off. Let's give Donald Trump the bonehead of the week. Let's watch it. No contest. Absolutely no contest.
Fucking
bonehead of the week,
everyone
bonehead
out.
of the century, for that matter. I don't know that anyone will ever hold a candle to this guy. Everyone, thank you for joining us for Bonehead of the Week. Thank you for voting for Bonehead of the Week. Again, if you want to vote for Bonehead of the Week, follow us on YouTube, the Tony Michaels Podcast. Subscribe there. Also, follow us on Twitter at Tony Michaels Pod. You can vote every single week for Bonehead of the Week. And we play the Bonehead of the Week every single Friday. Every one of them, Gabe, on the Tony Michaels Podcast. And we replay it that night on the MeidasTouch Network. So check out the replay there. And if you're on the MeidasTouch Network watching the replay, make sure to subscribe right now. And also download every single Bonehead of the Week on Sundays. Apple, Spotify, Google. Just go search the Tony Michaels Podcast. While you're there, while you're subscribing on your favorite directory, leave us a great review. And also visit store.theTonyMichaels.com. We got a lot of merch going on there. Here's a Ron DeSantis can go fuck himself. That's a popular one. We got the freedom to oppress the rights of other people is not liberty. The liberty quote is hot, 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 Gabe. We got t-shirts, coffee mugs, zip-up hoodies, and hoodies. So go check out store.theTonyMichaels.com. What a great Bonehead of the Week. Everybody, This has been your edition of Bonehead of the Week. If you're on the Tony Michaels Podcast, stick around for just 1 second. But if you're on the MeidasTouch, we'll see you next week on Bonehead of the Week.